If there's one thing that's really made His Majesty the King very angry regarding this whole debacle, it was simply this. And when you think about it, you can truly understand. Once again, he's on the world stage over in Dubai, speaking, I thought, very eloquently and warmly about a rather serious subject when you think about it. But once again, it was overshadowed by his youngest son, his cable TV actress wife, and someone who claims to know the true insider royal news. As ever, let me explain. Hi, good morning. Neil Sean here. Nice to see you as ever. Thank you so much. How are you today? You all right? Thank you for joining me. Yes, nice to see you. I know it's still a bit chilly out here, as you can imagine, but it's nice to get out, as I often say, even for a short period, just to get some air, isn't it? Yes. Thank you, by the way, for your lovely comments regarding my video about meeting Henry Kissinger. You know, as I say, we're not political on this show. It's just, it is people that you meet. You know, I was talking to someone the other day and they said, have you ever met Roger Daltrey? Or so, you know, The Who, you know, I said, oh yeah, great band. I said, oh, I met Roger Daltrey. Did you? I said, oh yeah. I said, I was in a green room and he came in, and this is what television is like, right? This is what is strange. He came out and said to me, hello, do you work here? And I said, oh yes. And he said, yeah, I've been in this room half an hour. I mean, what's happening? Does anybody know I'm here? And I thought, well, of course, everybody knows you're here. You're Roger Daltrey. Turns out nobody did know he was there. He was supposed to be on a TV show. Somebody took him to a wrong room. I ended up having to take him down to the room. We ended up getting on, ended up going out for a drink, and then, of course, doing an interview. What a guy, what a talent. And, of course, you know, my generation. Well, not quite, but you know what I mean? That's exactly how television celebrity works. Back as ever to your Breaking World story of the day. You know the phrase that we're not saying here on this show, but the one that, of course, indicted basically the Princess of Wales, Catherine, and, of course, His Majesty the King, all about a simple private conversation that truly nobody knows whether it went on or not. As I said to you before at the very start of all this debacle, it's very easy, isn't it, for a writer like that, who's literally not presenting one person as a person who's literally willing to go on record and say, yes, you know, I did agree with that, or I was there with that. This is the problem. But now you see this has really escalated for His Majesty the King, and furious as one can imagine for the Prince of Wales, Prince William, regarding his wife. I mean, it's a terrible thing to have your wife embroiled in something that you know is totally, totally untrue. And normally the remit would be to say nothing and to just draw a line under it. But even His Majesty the King apparently was very, very annoyed, to say the least, because the BBC decided to name him on one of their news bulletins regarding this particular story. Now, in their instance, they're basically saying they're reporting the facts. This is all about the leaked translation in the Dutch version of the book. But you see, from his point of view, that now looks like it is an official thing, and people do actually, or may believe it in the future. Obviously, notes and letters and missives have been sent back and forth to BBC, but they're holding tight, as one can imagine. You get, I often say this on the show, but what a mess, Meghan Markle and that association with Prince Harry, they've brought to the whole royal family. Whatever the internal situations were, wasn't a lot more pleasant when Her Majesty the Queen was on the throne and people simply behaved. They didn't feel the need to wash their dirty laundry. Some might say this is a replication of exactly what Prince Harry's late mother, Princess Diana, did, speaking to the media, sitting back and letting it all explode. Only, of course, revealing her side of it once she was exposed herself. Either way, as you can imagine, in this particular climate, it's very rocky times for His Majesty the King, who wants really people to focus on the good deeds that he truly is doing alongside his eldest son, the Prince and Princess of Wales. Developing story. When I know more, you'll know more. Neil Sean in the very heart of London.